Sam never wanted to make this video with me. For him to pick up a video camera meant admitting that film was dead. Sam came to Paris to hide from people like me, to live in the past, to fulfill what he said was the one and only pursuit worthy of photography, to capture real life as it happened. Myself, I came here to write a book about skateboarding. At the time, France was the place for avant-garde skateboarding videos, and I was trying to figure out the skateboarding video formula. Sam and I first met here, at this abandoned factory. Sam was ready to give up on photography. The problem, he said, was that these days, everyone has a camera in their pocket. That thanks to the tourists, the romance in Paris was dead. Every time he held up his camera, he'd get this reaction. What bothered Sam most was just the way people would look at him.
Hey! Mec!
Quoi?
Mec! Tu m'as pris en photo là?
Quoi?
Tu m'as pris en photo?
Oui.
Bah vas-y, enlève-la, mec! Sérieux?
Non, c'est pas grave.
Quoi, c'est pas grave?
So I gave him some advice which all skateboarders understand. I had no idea it would become the foundation for an entire manifesto.
Bonsoir, c'est juste pour un renseignement, il y a ce monsieur là qui m'a pris en photo. Là, il veut pas effacer, il dit qu'il veut pas, j'en sais rien.
C'est exactement le même système que nous. Quand on est pris en photo sur l'intervention, les gens ont le droit, puisque ça fait partie des libertés. Par contre, si vous êtes quelque part un jour sur Internet, il faudra venir donc déposer plainte contre la personne qui a posé la photo sur Internet.
D'accord, mais si c'était...
Much like skateboarding, street photography is what's called a necessary conflict. What that means is that in order to do it, you're going to piss some people off. But if you believe that what you're doing will serve a higher purpose, then the conflict will prove necessary. When it comes to the arts of the streets, the only rules to follow are street rules. You don't need to ask anyone's permission, because that would be an unneeded limitation. Whether there is warrant in your crime depends on the merit of its uses. An open challenge for any copyright, challenging your voice from being heard. The old factory and her decaying graffiti was like our muse. She spoke to us in riddles, which held the principles long ago developed here in France, the birthplace of the photographic image. The first riddle stated, to take 24 photographs in a single second, I recognized as the frame rate for moving images. But what that had to do with my neighbor's shoes, I couldn't understand. It was something Sam picked up on very quickly. For him, it was a way to immerse himself in his photography. Video became a way of connecting with another culture, to see life through the eyes of others. and at first it was a lot of fun. He would go kiss some girl in the park. Or go for a swim with his new buddies. And sometimes he would just hang out, as the Parisians do. I told Sam I thought that we were still missing something in the riddle, but that just seemed to irritate him. His perspective was changing, and all Sam could think about was what he found in front of him. And what he found was a conflict among the people in the streets, and video became his form of investigation.
Viens ici! Mais tu vois où? Ah, viens, attends. Pas rester avec nous. On dit bonjour de vous. C'est maintenant jamais, je vais être célèbre.
His adventures in street videography inspired the concept for my book, How to Make a Skateboarding Video Without Skateboarding. Essentially, I wrote, a skateboarding video is composed of two things, style and tricks. If you can master these two things, you'll inspire the kids to get off the couch and go skateboarding. That's the goal. A skateboarding video is about having fun and encouraging others to have fun. So when it comes to a life video, we broaden the definition of fun to include the kinds of emotions that elevate the human experience for more people than just the teenage boys. Drama, beauty, tragedy. And if you can find these things in everyday life, you'll break the monotony. Instead of friends to film the video with, you'll need to establish an intimate relationship with everyone around you. To fall in love with every stranger you see in the street.
The rain had started tapping on the window near my bed. There was a loophole in my dreaming, so I got out of it. And to my surprise, my eyes were wide and already open. Just my nightstand and my dresser, where those nightmares had just been. So I dressed myself and left then, out into the grey streets. But everything seemed different and completely new to me. The sky, the trees, houses, buildings, even my own body. And each person I encountered, I couldn't wait to meet. And I came upon a doctor who appeared in quite poor health. I said, there's nothing that I can do for you, you can't do for yourself. He said, oh yes you can, just hold my hand, I think that would help. So I sat with him a while, then I asked him how he felt. He said, I think I'm cured. No, in fact I'm sure of it. Thank you, stranger, for your therapeutic smile.
In the life video, we refer to tricks instead as the precise moment.
She doesn't wanna go. Straight from head to toe to the left, turn with the show me around. Crazy heartbeat leads me straight into the ground. You don't recover from a night like this. A victim still lying in bed, completely motionless. A hand moved in the dark to a zipper. Hear a boy pacing tight against sheets, barely whisper. This is so messed up. Upon arrival, the guests had all stared. Dripping wet and clear, depressed, he'd headed straight for the stairs. No longer cool, but a boy in a state. Unprepared for a life full of lies and failing relationships. He keeps his hands low, listen on a blow. He's wet from head to toe, and his eyes give him the up and the down. His stomach turns and he thinks of throwing up. But the body on the bed that gets forward and he starts growing.
People focus. The reasons that I had to believe you were too hard to sell. Try out and save yourself. Take all the taste of. It used to be the reason I breathe, but now it's choking me up. Try out and save yourself.
She hit the line. This doesn't seem quite fair. Despite everything he learned from his friends, he doesn't feel so prepared. She's breathing quiet and smooth. He is gasping for air. This is the first and last time he said. She fakes a smile and presses her hips into his. He keeps his hands pinned down at his side. He's holding back from telling her exactly what it really feels like. He is a lamb, she is the slayer. She's moving way too fast and all he wanted was to hold her. Nothing that he tells her's really having an effect. He whispers that he loves her, but she's probably only looking for so much more than he could ever give. A life full of lies and a meaningful relationship. He keeps his hands pinned down at his side. He waits for it to end before the aching in his gut is so sad.
Focus. The reasons that I had to believe you were too hard to sell. Try out and save yourself. Take all the taste of. It used to be the reason I breathe, but now it's choking me up. Try out and save yourself. The station where the act becomes the art of growing up. Focus. The reasons that I had to believe you were too hard to sell. Try out and save yourself. Take all the taste of. It used to be the reason I breathe, but now it's choking me up. Try out and save yourself.
Achieving style is better known as following the light.
Like a bird on the wire, like a drunk in a midnight choir. I have tried in my way to be free, like the worm on a hook, like a knight from some old-fashioned book. I have saved all my ribbons for thee. If I have been unkind, I hope that you can just let it go by. If I have been untrue, I hope you know it was never to you. Oh, like a baby his horn. I have torn everyone who reached out for me. But I swear by this song and by all that I have done wrong, I will make it all up to thee. I saw a beggar leaning on his wooden crutch. He said to me, "You must not ask for so much." And a pretty woman leaning in her darkened door, she cried to me, "Hey, why not ask for more?" Oh, like a bird on the wire, like a drunk in a midnight choir, I have tried in my way to be free.
Sam wasn't so interested in my book. He had something else in mind. Sam was becoming absorbed in the culture and the conflicts between the people he had found in his dream city. What he really wanted to do with his work was to say something about the social issues. But the next time we met at the factory, on the north side of the building, we found another riddle which would advise Sam otherwise. Sam realized that if he wanted to say something with his videography, all he had to do was be honest and appreciate what was already in front of him. The city had so much to offer, if you were willing to take the time to listen. That was how we met Ali. Ali was a music producer, a musician, and a French rapper. Most importantly, he was a local in the city, and he appreciated Sam's new video skills. Ali saw all of us as one, photographers, skateboarders, rappers, and he said what we really should do is stick together. Ali helped us to learn the language of the streets so we could cross boundaries. He welcomed us into his world to meet his friends, his family, and anyone with something to say. When we listened to the old city, we found her voice in the street artists.
Pour envoyer où le blé. Mes frères, j'ai déjà méthodé. Avec même quand j'étais coupé dans ma activité. L'artiste, on m'a donné. Mais ça me s'achète de lait. Impossible de déconner. De déconner. Allô, super, les mômes d'après disant que le vaillant. J'ouvre les yeux, normalement, je suis vénère. Je me demande qu'est-ce qui se passe ici, pas sur cette terre. Ouais.
Grab somebody, stab somebody, slap somebody, make you wanna step to the bar, sip a party. Wild out the class in the club, we in the party. Brooklyn, come on, Charlotte, come on, Queensbridge down the Long Island, come on, Bronx nigga, come on, Manhattan, come on, each and every hood, what's happening, come on. Come on, niggas, listen, let me talk. Can't you see what I got for you now? Shake your big fat ass in front of me now. To all my live niggas, we hit a blackout, follow the story now. just feel my heat. And you know I'm gonna just keep it street, my nigga, cause you know we about to lose it, my nigga. And you know we gon' get real stupid, my niggas, you know. Listen, let me talk. Can't you see what I got for you now? Shake a big fat ass in front of me now. To all my high hitters, to all my live niggas, we hit a blackout, follow the story now. Just feel my heat, and you know I'm gonna just keep it street, my nigga, cause you know we about to lose it, my nigga. And you know we gon' get real stupid, my niggas, you know. Truthfully, come on, niggas, listen, let me talk.
Mille caméraman, approche-toi. Je peux fumer le caméraman. Approche-toi. Je veux fumer le caméraman. Fumer le caméraman. On va finir ce micard dans la merde en se noyant dans du ricard. Tant qu'on est vivant on ricane, mais suffit d'une seconde pour que tu cannes. Flo arrive en pécane, armé de rimes, et y'a mon armée derrière. Secteur G, faut que t'aies tes limites, c'est nous les barrières. Dans la rue j'ai fait ma carrière. Gros caille fait péter ta carie, y'a le charisme, pétasse pas de crari, t'auras pas de carrosse. T'as de visite un terrain de cross, boss, carré, chameau dans le caleçon. Pour les chats chaudes, j'suis un glaçon. Faut que je fasse un sale son, mes gars sont sales, sont anormal que les s'envolent. C'est pas avec leur balai que nos mères s'envolent. Si on rate nos vies elles s'en veulent. À 30 dans un magasin ça sent le vol. Et c'est le sbeul quand on sort de la ville. Au poste faut pas que tu bugs quand tu sors la pile. Bon son la feuille je la brûle, l'encre bulle. Si on switch tes frites. Ils se sont tous jetés sur le rap. Ils ont cru que c'était des frites. La vie c'est un défi. Y'a des flics, des filles, des clics, des fils. J'crois qu'on va mettre des claques à la file. Trop de crack à la vue. Gros on se moque la vie. Et quand faut tirer on s'en moque. Ton avis, ton avenue, gros caillon est venu pour repartir avec de très très gros revenus. Même si la mort est à venir, avec les fonds font notre avenir. Y'a Dieu que je vénère. Si t'es un show, je m'en fous que tu sois vénère. Je te nique ta mère si tu te relèves, t'es vénard. On vend du shit peinard, mais les fils de pute de Schmitt veulent nous voir en peignoir. Y'a des beurres chauds, des mecs au peignoir. T'attends pas à nous voir en plein noir. L'île de France bronzée même en plein nord. Sergi Pref à Sergi Nord, en passant par Stoff. Trop nombreux sur nos toffes, normal qu'on t'étouffe. T'as pas les toffes dans les teufs, ça tire les tafs pour plus sentir le taf qui pèse lourd. Y'a deux meufs, j'en baise une, après je pèse l'autre. J'suis un vrai loup, crois pas que j'suis un pèse-mot. C'est pour mes gros cailles animaux, pas les canards qui vivent dans un dessin animé. Moi je vois que dessin à nommer, anonyme jusqu'à ce qu'elle me dise son name. Et je la nique sur du c'est ma name. J'peux pas aimer celles qui passent leur vie sur MSN. Suce de queue, font les meufs saines, faut que les keufs saignent. Ça je remballe tes conseils, on pense qu'oseille. Vous voulez tester, poser dans le rap, je viens m'imposer. Je suis master quand c'est ma pause, mes pauses, j'ai des épaules et je viens t'épauler. Le gros caille m'a épaulé, puis on va t'empaler. Même si t'es bonne et que t'as 30 balais, je suis gourmand, je veux pas 1 mais 30 palais. Sur l'hameçon, pas d'anchois, j'ai mis une grande baleine. Des spi dans la laine, mais t'inquiète, 2 spi dans l'arène. Je mets ma grosse bite dans l'arène et place mon gros beat pour la haine. SG posé dans l'allée, les grosses bitches font cavaler. Les faux, faut les cavaler, on le met dans la cavalée. La poucave cabavé, faut le million, pas se casser avec des cabas vides. J'suis mignon, j'peux pas me caser avec une carba de ville. Le temps de l'argent, donc on tape des kebabs vite. Descends la vite que les jaloux écoutent. J'suis sale, j'viens des égouts, pétasse si tu mouilles, j't'égoutte. Faut des gains pour mes goûts, j'dégaine mes couches, déchaîne mes cailles. Une pour ceux qui ont des chaînes et cailles, et ceux qui ont des gènes du gros caille. Notre vie, tu la vois dans plus d'ocaille. Chaud sans avoir plus de sky, c'est pas avec un gun, mais avec un tapis qu'on vise le sky. La vie c'est une couille, ils veulent qu'on taffe pour un SMIC. Impossible comme voir une tasse pour un smack. Nous on veut tout, mais dans la ville trop de vautours. Un deck dans ton aventure. Si tu te ferais braquer, le seul conseil avant-hier, avant le tueur. Où on parlera de toi qu'avant-hier. Y'a des decks qui me font des hex en deck plan comme Derrick. Là où c'est direct, même s'il y a des risques, il se peut que tu restes. Tu finiras sur photo grise. Pour baiser ta meuf, pas besoin que tu m'autorises. Gangsta, même avec une moto rose. Couille balèze, élevé au poteau rose. SG, mes potes opposés. Pas de 45, une odeur de cuisse, on peut s'en passer. Du pils, on peut t'en passer. Le temps passé sur le bif, je fais que de penser. Les keufs veulent me pincer. Dans ma recette du sale, j'en mets pas qu'une pincée. Dans les fêtes, y'a les coins pour les coincer. Nous on finit vite nos tailles avant de les casser. Même si on est pas assez, c'est car j'ai fait toujours des dégâts avant de se casser. Baisse toutes les garces avant de se caser. Je te fume comme un garci avant de t'écraser. Ouais, fin les gars.
if you're hanging out with always the same group of friends, like for example, I don't know, like Middle Eastern people or only Muslim people or only French people, then this shapes your perceptions. Then you are like limited. You just eat North African, you just eat Middle Eastern. You don't even give it a shot to how is it really like eating French food or socializing with French people. Because you told me that, you know, the French system is weird. We live in this neighborhood, and they call it the quartier populaire. It's like for, I don't know, like socially or economically disadvantaged people. They, you know, poor people live in certain neighborhoods, coming from different countries. Well, most of them from North African countries, but they put African people. They put North African people in certain neighborhoods that then just give them a chance to just go and reach out to the French people. So they said, if we want to move to out of this neighborhood, the social, what do they call it? The social agencies put us to another neighborhood just like this one. So we don't have the financial means actually to pick the neighborhood that we want. My parents actually wants to live in a neighborhood where more French people live, just to experience different things. They've been here for like 20, 30 years. So they want to experience different things, but they can't because they can't get out of the system.
It was what she just said about being stuck in the system that made me realize how this would all come together. This is how I got the idea for the second part of my book, How to Make a Skateboarding Video Without Skateboarding, Part 2. For the average adult, a skateboarding video appears to be a lot of teenage silliness combined with some athleticism. And that's the point. It's a form which has been crafted over the last 3 decades by amateurs following their instincts about what is good, what is cool. Now, because these videos have been distributed so inexpensively and so rapidly, a kind of shared knowledge of conventions has built up among video creators. This tradition is in fact a complex visual language which is like an invisible ink to the untrained eye. But for the skateboard riding youth, it contains a vast amount of information about a culture, their industry, their values. In fact, it is a highly ethical visual language, as there is much emphasis upon defining a truth in their physical accomplishments. In short, there are skateboarders and there are posers, because a skateboarding video is something which cannot be faked. That's what Sam was doing with all of his purist ideas about capturing real life. That's why all of his shots were in one take, without manipulation. He was creating an instinctual form primarily concerned with the truth. But it was what she said about French Muslims and other secular groups being stuck in the system that helped me realize the potential. Because skateboarders know all about the system. Since skateboarding has existed, there's been a system put in place to give it limitations. Skate parks, the X Games, security guards. Take a businessman, a person in a wheelchair, and a skateboarder. We design our cities for the first, adjust them to grant access for the second, and downright exploit to exclude the third. This speaks to a fundamental social flaw with perspective that limits the potential of any group of people whose values contrast with the norm. And it is the system which stops us from broadening the perspective. A skateboarding video is a response to the system. It says that as a culture we are alive, we are cultivating our values, and we are unique, talented people demanding to be heard. Because 1 second of our video is a 1 second walk in our shoes. So to make a skateboarding video without skateboarding takes a connection to the right kind of filmer with a group of talented, passionate people that are ready and able to create a visual cultural experience. To be sure our video would be seen by the high-class French superiors, all I had to do was add some provocative titles to encrypt their message into a form the intellectuals could never refuse: the French art film.
Super. Comment estás? Super. Bye. C'est comment? Ah, arrête ça, laisse ça. Tu commences. Rentre ça dans ta poche. Le grand fil il dépasse. C'est le problème de l'homme noir. Bien ou quoi? Super. Ta famille? Oh, calme. Tout à l'heure, tu me dis que tu faisais pas? Si, je suis parti. J'étais à côté, mais après je suis venu. Normal. Il est sortir la chemise, tout. Le col blanc, il va dire les négros en 2014 sont énervés. Attends. Tu veux, toi? Hein? Demain? Attends, tu fais bien au dernier moment. C'est bizarre. Je vois le négro, il est soigné. Il a mis les lunettes, il est énervé. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Je sais pas. Tout ça, c'est pour qui? Ça fait beaucoup, hein? L'homme noir. Ah, laisse ça, toi t'aimes trop ça, c'est pas ton problème. Regarde ici.
Trop l'Afrique, c'est ça son problème.
J'aime trop l'Afrique, lui. C'est pas ton problème. Ah, là, qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Arrête tes bêtises. C'est quoi le boulot? Chez moi ou quoi? Tu vas marcher un peu?
Mais c'est ça dimanche là en mode barbac, clip, tout ça. Il y aura tout le monde. Ouais, il y aura tout le monde. Non, si, il y aura du. Mais c'est quoi le son? Vous savez déjà, vous savez c'est lequel? Franchement, je sais pas. La dernière fois, il y avait du monde la dernière fois. Ouais, il y avait du monde, mais ouais. Ah, par contre, la dernière fois là, pour l'Afrique, personne n'a fait. Le monde qui y avait là? Ouais. Combien de personnes? Bien, tu vois, tout le monde a ramené. Arrête! Je te jure, tout le monde a ramené. L'équipe, elle était même pas là. Le quartier.
Mais c'est ça, bête de performance de comédien. Après, ils vont me dire, ouais, mais.
Vous êtes tous partis du film.
Mais c'est ça, vous êtes tous partis, vous êtes tous filmés, souriez. Mais c'est ça, ils veulent pas. Tu leur dis, non, mais écoute ce que je te dis, l'homme noir. C'est pas le problème de l'être humain. Tu lui dis A, après il dit B. Tu lui donnes ça, il dit n'importe quoi. C'est pas le problème de l'homme africain. Dès qu'il a son bol de riz, il va partager avec ses frères qui ont faim. Mais c'est ça. Ça, c'est l'Afrique. Ça. Regarde. Viens ici. Mais tu vas où? Ah, viens. Attends. Elle veut pas rester avec nous. Tu lui dis bonjour de loin. Viens. C'est mieux. C'est maintenant ou jamais hein, si tu veux être célèbre. Viens. Voilà, exactement, tu vois. C'est ça. On te dit, tu joues. On va te payer ton billet pour l'Afrique. Elle sait pas. Tu
t'escomptes à voir tes papiers.
Mais c'est ça.
Les big up le rugby qui veut prendre mec des photos. C'est comme ça tous les potos. On rappe mais tu sais qu'on met le potent. Fais ça comme on peut. Puis qu'on est petit peu, on fume la bœuf, on prend l'air ERB, puis l'air ERD. T'inquiète pas, on balance pas à pas, petit à petit. L'oiseau fait son nid, tout droit de sa nid. Flige la sodomie, avec ou sans monie. Bouteille de l'abonie, fais pas les Tommy. On est omniprésent, le pleura toujours mec, c'est bon.
I like it.
Balance d'assaut, balance d'assaut, tout bas, balance d'assaut, balance d'assaut, tout bas, balance d'assaut, fais pas attendre, balance d'assaut, voici maintenant, balance d'assaut. Balance d'assaut, vas-y prends le beat d'assaut, Walkman les fachos, vas-y jusqu'au cachot, sans repos, sans répit, pas de JB avec la sono, l'appareil photo, automoto dans le métro, vas-y tu n'écho, assure le que tout ça vient de la rue, tu vois que ça tu dis pas que ça pue, des trucs stipule, on est au bac, on se dissimule, sans tourner le bulle, dis pas que j'affabule, fais des bulles, avec ma bouche, les rimes te touchent, le blas c'est bouffe, t'es mal, le tête c'est chouette, les gars tu ta bouteille de chouette, fais ça même ouais sous la couette, fais ça mec d'une traite, la vie prend de la breva, on le prête, putain décalé, coupé décalé, cesse de chialer, la vibe t'a charmé que ça pose toujours carré, le réga tu décris, nos vies qu'on décrit, c'était écrit, t'as bien compris, sur le debit, pas de B, lâche ton vomi, Matlovni, Chromie, en direct de Paris, fais pas crari, mais qui fait les quinries, ça vient de la bonne écurie, l'ami, on tamise, on fait ça en quête, la terre promise, pas de blague, même si tu sais que c'est bas, c'est grade, c'est la nouvelle décade, à l'ancienne 9-3 Pléiade, pas de parade, appelle même tes parents, rien de navrant, rentre dedans calmement, évidemment, on est là, c'est démentiel, sur les décibels, hey rappé, fais pas trop de rebelle trash, mes postillons comme ça compose, improvisation, pas de récitation, pas d'élucubration de ma part, la cabare, abracarabacar, on est à l'espèce de gros connard, c'est bizarre, fais ça le matin comme le soir, j'ai bien fait mes devoirs, tape-toi des barres, vas-y on démarre, au quart de tour, sans retour, plus d'un tour, dans mon sac, dis pas que c'est sec, le délec, la tête c'est ton Canada, dans ce Canada, bancal, Canada Dry, Canada Dry, jusqu'à Montréal, Saint-Denis, 9-3, 1-2, on kick ça 7718 qui la bise. Sur sa majeure trou, mais ça mec s'accro. Mec fais pas le mytho, balance d'assaut, les rimes en gros. Mec tu vois le topo, avec de la poliaco. À pied ou en auto, mec ça saute aux yeux. Fais-nous dap de gueux, sur ton zebeu. On arrive en temps de crise, on se baisse des Champs-Élysées. Balance des trucs canalistes. Avec les potos sur la banquise, avec le clown sur le côté. Des boîtés, contre qu'à ta santé. Toujours enchanté de rapper, avec le bon doigté. À sincérité.
Comment t'expliquer? La vie c'est compliqué, pas de texte à réciter, l'habileté, pas de débilité de ma part, blague à part, chante souvent tricard, on est hal, parfois les mauvais regards c'est bizarre, sur le 11 on avance, parfois on recule, on veut nous encule, dis pas que j'affabule, mec spécule, comme à la bourse, rien à foutre, la mort aux trousses, t'as la pousse, fait sa douche, on est hal, v'là les secousses, sismique mec,
Je suis au garde à vous, j'avoue ça c'est de la contrôle routier, alcoolisé, tout ça sans m'hyper, c'est de la se faire courser, par contre pas au parc des, c'est de la D, c'est de la dinguerie, c'est de la D, c'est de la dinguerie, c'est de la D.
C'est toi des pas des pas
Tu vas où? Donc ça veut dire on fait Saint-Lazare. On n'a pas le choix.
So get it. Water. Everyone my dreams in the night. Where you going? Oh, on vient rendre visite. On se filme nous? On se filme nous? Celui-là? Ouais. Filmer quoi? On se filme nous?
Pourquoi il filme là? On fait un clip? Un clip? Ouais, maaleykum salam. De quoi? On se filme nous là?
That was the moment everything changed. For the first time since we started filming, someone had taken away our right to the image. Without rule number 1, our manifesto rested on nothing. Everything we had learned came crashing down. I couldn't understand. What is it about photography that bothers people so much? Meanwhile, the old factory, along with the answer to my question, were being demolished as part of a city-wide renovation plan. Soon, this place that we had called home would be no different from the inner city, and we would lose the centerpiece of our inspiration. Sam was upset. He called this gentrification and saw it as the system displacing low-income families. But I knew what was really bothering him. When they told us to stop filming, Sam felt rejected by the same people he considered to be his new allies. We were alone, unable to move forward, left in the dark. Except, we weren't really alone. We were among people just like us who came to stare at the factory, waiting to see what fate the city's transformation would bring to them. Rather than going out and searching for the light, we began to put our cameras down and spend some time with the factory locals. There was something yet to learn from them, a knowledge that this whole community had about photography that we misunderstood. That was when the final riddle appeared to us. So we waited. And it was true what they say, that patience is a virtue.
Ouais.
That was our greatest revelation. The light was not something we had to find, but something that we already had within us the entire time. So what had we learned? 24 photographs, for any second that you choose, is an instant lost forever. A moment in your neighbor's shoes. That was the line we had failed to grasp. We had been so concentrated on our search, we nearly missed it. You cannot capture a moment without losing one as well. Virtual reality in the hands of children. Everywhere you go in Paris, you'll find people photographing, just like us. We're shooting to see a new perspective. It's a curiosity, an attempt to understand something. There's something out there we want to capture, to hold on to and take home to relive over and over. What we have not yet realized is that when we create something, we also take something away. And with our eyes locked on the screens, what we stand to lose are the same things that inspired us to photograph in the first place. The humanity, the preciousness of each moment. So what is really happening when we all decide to take a photo at the same place and at the same time? The only thing we end up sharing is a common displacement of reality, separating into private bubbles. This is what the local people here understand, how it feels to have their reality invaded by the settlers of the virtual world. The question is, what did we do next? Well, we had to get back out there and keep on trying. And with this new knowledge, Sam found a way to continue photographing without interrupting the moment for anyone he captured. Street videography became a kind of people watching. And in this quiet reflection of real life, Sam began to find some serenity. Sometimes, he would stumble upon a moment so good and true that he would get lost in it for an entire afternoon. A meditation in virtual reality. The next time we met at the factory, a year had gone by and a lot had changed. There were no more riddles to solve, and our ambitions had faded just like the graffiti we so admired. What was once a hub for street artists and those pushed to the fringes of the city would soon become an entirely new community. I don't know whether gentrification is the right word, because I still have hope for a more welcoming public space that can be positive for the many in the way that it once was for the few. Sam was no longer intimidated by the strangers in the street. They were now his friends, his neighbors, all of them with their own story. Myself, I had nearly finished my book, What I had left was to write a concluding statement. I wrote that, whether it's a skateboarding or a life video, it's the real-life moments, the friends you make, and the time spent in between shooting that is most important.
Vas-y, parle, frérot. Ouais, ben là, je suis au forum, là. On est en train de clipper, là, et vas-y, donne-nous de la force, hein, homie. Aïe, aïe. That's my big bro.
If there was any golden rule, it would be that photography should bring people together. As for Zen, that was something that could only happen when you put the camera down. We achieve Zen by following the manifesto, by putting ourselves in the shoes of others, by practicing with patience the language of the streets and finding harmony among the people. We achieve Zen by being mindful of every mundane moment, by allowing ourselves to see the beauty all around us. Anyone can practice it. With your imagination as a camera and eyeballs for a lens, we can practice on our walk to work or while riding home on the train. Zen can be practiced anywhere, even in Paris where, as Sam will tell you, the romance is not dead, but is in fact alive and well. Practicing, quite simply, is the act of trying to find it. Find it in the light. Find it in the people. Find it in the moment. But what is it? It is something indescribable that Sam and I had both come to Paris to try to find. We found it in the people we had met, in skateboarding videos, in street videography, but we also found that it was something we had within ourselves the entire time. It is the reason we photograph, the force by which we have conceived this virtual reality. It is the mother of all things, the nameless, the eternal. The French, they call it the cinema of the street.
A young man goes to Paris, as every young man should. There's something in the air of France that does a young man good.
Allez, fais les bas, les bons vins que avons bu. La 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 la. Raspberries, strawberries, the good wines we brew. Here's to the girls of the countryside, the ones we drink 'em to.
Paris nights are warm and fair, the summer winds are soft. A young man finds the face of love in every field and loft.
In every field and loft. Allez, fais les bas, les bons vins que avons bu. La 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 la.